Since its introduction half a decade ago, people wanting to see oil independence and cleaner air have looked at the Chevrolet Volt as more than just a car. To them, it's a cause, a bridge technology between gas and electric drive, and even the future. And while nobody really knows the future, the question is, should it be? In its effort to coax Americans away from their love affair with gas-guzzling trucks and SUVs, the federal government seems to think so, and the range-extended electric Volt has long been promoted by the U.S. EPA. The $34,000 and up car is eligible for a $7,500 federal tax credit like full EVs get, higher than other in-class plug-in hybrids by Ford, Toyota, Hyundai, or Kia. The Volt is also the first plug-in car to go through a complete redesign and is now 243 pounds lighter with improvements throughout. Its 53 miles combined electric range is up from a former 38, which is still higher than competitive blended plug-in hybrids. Its 42 miles per gallon now on regular gas is up from 37 miles per gallon on premium. Also new is an all-aluminum 1.5 liter gas hybrid powertrain. Restyled inside and out, the car looks normal, handles well, and is as quiet as any pure electric car because that is what it essentially is, but with gas backup. And if you think that's wild, here's something even more amazing. The Volt can be invisible part of the time. Okay, well maybe that's a stretch, but the car from a country with its share of loathing for its own has not registered in the minds of many buyers. Actually, there are lots of nuanced reasons why this is so. Some are valid concerns, others are misconceptions. Technically, the Volt is America's second best-selling plug-in car, but frankly, plug-ins are a niche of less than 1% in the U.S. market. Mainstream cars sell circles around them, and even Toyota sells nearly 5 of its Prius liftback hybrids for every Volt sold, even though a subsidized Volt can net out to around the same price or even less. But the Volt can do a trick no gas-dependent car can. The federal government says 75% of drivers need only a 40-mile all-electric range to stay completely off of gasoline for their average daily driving, and the Volt has 53 miles. This means assuming one has a place to charge, the Volt may be the most effective gateway to having a pure EV without any of the drawbacks of limited charging or long recharge times. Day to day, it has enough electric range for over 75% of all people, and longer trips are no problem. Some say if the Volt had been introduced by Honda or Toyota, the Volt's history might have been far better. And really it's unfortunate because the Volt has previously topped Consumer Reports' owner satisfaction survey twice, bumping the vaunted Porsche 911 out of the way in the process, while racking up numerous other awards, and this 2017 second generation model is altogether better. The Volt was purpose-built as an electrified car. It is not converted from a hybrid, it is not converted from a normal gasoline-powered car. It was designed as an extended-range electric vehicle. For 2016, with the redesign, all new architecture was brought into the powertrain. That means new engine, new battery, new motor controller. You don't see any more orange cables anymore because they've been hidden. They've cleaned up the interior of the engine bay a little bit. And it has now a larger battery with more energy density of 18.4 kilowatt hours, which is by LG Chem. Propelling this vehicle is a hybrid architecture with all new 1.5 liter engine and a unique drive unit. That is a gas-electric transmission that's been designed as the donor DNA for GM's future hybrids. The 2016 Malibu hybrid, which gets 46 miles per gallon, is the first spin-off, and the Malibu was created alongside the second-generation Volt from its inception. You can be sure there will be more hybrids from General Motors based on the Volt soon. As for charging, you can plug it into a regular wall socket with no special equipment required. It takes about 13 hours, though the vehicle will charge much faster with a 240-volt charging equipment in about 4.5 hours. If anything could be called the Volt's Achilles heel compared to mid-sized competitors, it is the fact that it is a compact class car. For your reference, I'm about 6 feet tall, my inseam's about 34 inches. The seat adjustment here is okay. We had a 6'3" guy sitting in front just to measure out that he had room up front. So for commuting, for carpooling, for what have you, it's not terrible. The big news for this year is, of course, General Motors went and engineered itself what's been politely called a seating position. In the middle section here, it's actually got seatbelt in place. It's got a child latch connector for a child's infant seat. It doesn't have a headrest, and this is definitely the cheap seats in the back seat of the car for short hops, for children, for car seats, not for full-size Americans. You'd be straddling this hump with a pair of cup holders between your thighs, and it's really just for convenience sake it's there. Some people don't know that the Volt is actually a hatchback. It looks designed like a sedan with a sloping coupe-like silhouette, but it is a hatchback. The trunk, it's only 10.6 cubic feet. It's not that big, but the nice thing about the vehicle is you can easily slide down the 60/40 split rear seat backs, and you have nearly flat floor. You can easily stow a bicycle in there, your trip to IKEA or what have you. A lot of goods can fit back here. When General Motors redesigned the 2016 Volt last year, they took a clean sheet approach. Gone is the white center stack with the haptic controls. Now you have buttons and knobs, which are much more familiar and functional and do all the same job. Very comfortable seating with a tilt and telescoping steering wheel and adjustable seats. The seats are not electrically adjusted, again, to save weight. The vehicle did cut weight. They also cut some cost out of the vehicle this time around. No moonroof, no sunroof. Everything is very functional. The 8-inch touchscreen is your center display, and you also have another display in the middle that can be toggled between different functions. The vehicle comes with both Apple CarPlay and Android Auto. The cockpit is like a Buick almost. These are leather appointed seats. The materials on the dash, they look like soft touch. They have a sort of rubberized texture, but technically they are hard touch. So we're backing out here, and the backup camera works great. But the main thing about the Volt is that it is an electric car with extended range. It almost sounds so... General Motors has caught flack for being a marketer about that term, but it's true. Compared to competitive blended plug-in hybrids, not only does the Volt have a longer electric range, it is effective in staying in EV mode, and that is something you actually appreciate once you get in the car and drive it, and you realize, hey, I can accelerate as much as I want, and the gas engine's not coming on, it won't come on. Isn't that great? And that was the mission statement with this car. And to date, nobody has done this. Not Ford, not Honda, Toyota certainly, not the Koreans, Hyundai, Kia, not even Porsche. Acceleration's quite brisk. The 0 to 30 time, which is, people talk about the quarter mile and 0 to 60 a lot. The 0 to 30 time, officially 2.6 seconds. 0 to 60 time, not as impressive. General Motors says 8.4 seconds. Another neat function with the Volt is the Regen Paddle that they brought. Now, Regen is short for regenerative braking. The regenerative braking paddle, there's only one on the left side, and you just pull it in with your left hand and watch the road speed drop. Mainly what it does is it accelerates the amount of kilowatts being fed back to the battery pack. You can learn the braking distance with your Regen, and you find yourself doing that all the time. It's a no-brainer. And the Volt's powertrain, by the way, was revised, and what the EPA calls MPGE went up on the combined cycle. That is your average between highway and city. MPGE is now 106. Prior, it was 98. So it's incrementally better. There are some more efficient electric cars out there. The BMW i3 is much more efficient at over 120 some odd. But amongst plug-in hybrids, again, the Volt's MPGE is marginally better. It's a little bit better than what you'd get in a Ford Energy product, for example. The drive experience, we're winding down a windy road. The Volt has always been known for its excellent driving dynamics. The Toyota Prius, when it was redesigned this year, industry watchers think that Toyota went back to the drawing board to try to sportify its Prius, and they gave it a double wishbone rear suspension and bragged about its handling, because the Prius was known to have a hinge in the middle. It doesn't anymore. The Prius handles nicely, but the Volt does too. So the Volt has always handled nicely, and if anything, it handles just as well or better than it did before. So going around corners is fun. The cool thing about this car is with 53 miles range, I have been getting an honest to good 50 plus miles range, 53 plus miles range, day in, day out. And on one of my typical 25, 30 mile daily drives, it's no problem. I don't even have to worry about off-site charging. The charge that I gave it at home lasts me the whole way. I come home and I have 20, 30 miles still in the battery. So I don't even have to think about a full recharge. It just topped off the half of the battery that I need to refill. General Motors was the originator of this form of hybrid car. And while imitators are cropping up from Korea, Japan, the United States, and Europe, to date, nobody has matched the Volt's dollar for electric range ratio. And while it's had its detractors, people who actually drive it have tended to love it. It's at least worth a closer look.